Hi, my loves. It's the Raymond Later Girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with some commentary about Cameron's most recent interview on The Breakfast Club. Now, before I hop into my commentary, sister, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you enjoy content where we talk about popular culture in a way that reshapes and reframes our mindset so we can live the life we deserve. So I want to start off by saying that I am a little bit biased towards Cameron and just the whole Dipset movement. I think that if you are a millennial girly who you grew up in this, early 2000s era, like you could not escape Cameron's pink influence and the luxuriousness, the flashiness, the gaudiness, right? I will never ever forget like doing a middle school project about like Cameron and the influence in the music industry. No bullshit. I was that girl, right? And so I want to say when the whole situation with Dame Dash came out, I was really kind of hurt to see it. Like, damn, these old heads is going out bad, like sad, bad, and mad. But however, I still find and have an appreciation for Dame Dash because he is just such a trailblazer for what he was able to do in the early 2000s, in the early or late 90s rather, and just amass a certain level of success in an industry that was dominated by people who necessarily didn't want to see them win. I mean, they had a certain type of rawness and I want to say ghetto, but I don't really want to say ghetto. I'll just leave it at raw. It's just uncouth, uncut, smoking the weed, got the, whatever the case, pants sagging, we gaudy, we bodacious. We got the money. I got the pink Lambo, pink furs, dimes in the penny loafers. And so I just really have an affinity for that era. I mean, like, did you even have a flip phone? Did you know what baby fat? Did you have a rocker or anything? Like, you were really one of those girls. And so when I went to the Breakfast Club, I naturally was like, I don't care. But then to kind of see the juxtaposition of Cameron's interview, and it's just like, wow. We are a long way from Kansas, okay? How do we all get here? Especially from these so-called, Harlem soldiers, right? Because Dame is quick to call somebody a civilian, right? And I never just thought I would see the fall and the breakdown happen in this way. I mean, am I wrong? Do y'all feel what I'm saying? Like, who knew we would want to see it happen like this? Jewels, nobody even hears from him anymore. Jim Jones, his braids are still pushed back and brushed nappily. And I feel like Cameron was quiet for some years, but our nigga Cam is back, right? We are really seeing him emerge in a way that I feel that maybe Dame is envious of. I made a video about this before too, about being an actual leaders. Leaders want to build other leaders. They don't want to build young boys who they're going to constantly be young boy, the OG too. And I really feel and see how Cam's antics, like the CNN interview, and his ability to transition into a completely different industry. Now, I originally remember just talking about how a lot of the celebrities or older celebrities are flooding the podcast space. And originally, I was just doing research before because I was going to start a podcast earlier in the year. And I'm like, yo, every old rapper, every old pseudo celebrity has a podcast. But I really understand, and I've watched enough episodes to see why it works. Why he wanted to do the Hood CNN or the Hood ESPN rather, discuss sports. I don't really know much about the sports, but I think it's smart to have, that girl stat there and just those moments that we see him just being really human and protecting, his young girl and the whole everything. Like Cam has been one, petty, and two, low-key a stand-up guy. So he went on to the Breakfast Club. Let's get into the interview. He talks a little bit about the fallout with Dame Dash. He's like, this is the last time I'm going to be talking about this, which I doubt because Dame dropped some tea, girl. He said that, not Dame, Cameron dropped some tea. He basically said that Dame Dash was out here, getting paternity tests, 7, 8, 9, 10 paternity tests on kids who he wanted to not father. He was just hoping one of them came back negative. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Everybody caught that subliminal. Everybody caught that shade. And it's just like, if y'all was good homeboys, if y'all was beefing at that wedding, y'all should have been beefing at that wedding. Like, don't start spraying me with some bullshit. We got too much tea on each other. Okay. That is guaranteed, promised mass destruction between both parties. Now, Cameron interview is being very well received. He's talking businessman. He's talking old school Rockefeller. He's talking, the breakdown with Jim Jones. And so essentially Dame put on Cam brought on his young boys. And now Cam is looking like the last man standing. Now, I knew there was something special when he had the pink fur, the pink bandana, and the pink lollipop, with the pink Mercedes shirt. I mean, like, I just knew, like, every girly girl had to love that. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I want my shit candy coated. I want my shit, like, it just, it just represented a grittiness, but also to luxury in a way. I just loved everything about that whole Dipset era. Not necessarily the chains and shit, but that pink shit, baby, let me tell you, it had us in the chokehold. Okay, am I lying? But he talked just about his business ventures, the issues within the industry. And it really made me sad for Dame. And I know that this video is really kind of centered around Cameron, but really it's just showing how people are not able to grow. And watching some of the older videos of Dame, very smart, very, very even intuitive, a little bodacious, good gracious ass bodacious. Okay. He was a little much, but he was also getting shit done. And if you, look on the web, everybody's talking about how Dame rescued them out of some terrible deal. Dame was the one who got Memphis Bleek out his deal. Dame got Cameron out his deal with Columbia Records. Dame was the one to come down and rescue people. So the intents were good, but I just feel like sometimes your ego can just get a little bit too big where you can't see the vision. Don't get so caught up in your ego that you lose sight of the vision, baby. We're seeing it in real life, in real time, from a nigga who lived in a glass house with urinals. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think that Dame is not to a point where he can really see clarity. Because at first I'm like, they trying to play him. He fell off in this, that, and the third. But from the sound of it, they wanted to help him. But he is so disgruntled at the fact that, you have waves and you have ups and you have downs. You have ebbs and you have flows. Now, surely Dame's low, right? For just to be clear, it's not going to be the low like average people have them. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's still going to be a different level, but it's hard for people to handle that. Think about the Great Depression when people lost everything, or not even the Great Depression, the recession, girl, and people was unalive and jumping for buildings. But I'd much rather just go be out of here than to live without my money, without my access, without my things, because those are the things who make me me. You understand what I'm saying? And so the whole idea of my house is bigger than yours, this, that, and the third, that is a clear indication that the things outside of Dame Dash is what's making him feel validated. And I would wonder what it would take for him to still feel rich. Because again, his broke is not the average broke. I'm talking about we live in paycheck to paycheck half the damn time. I'm still complaining. I went to the grocery store the other day. I couldn't believe the prices because usually I'll just get it to, like Sam's Club delivered to the house or whatever the case. Girl, I was up in there like, what the fuck is this, babe? Like, I don't know, y'all. Make sure we go out and vote for the midterm election. That's all I'm going to say, because, bitch, ain't no fucking way. Never would have made it. Anyway, but it's just something about his inability to see still how blessed he is, right? Or to see still how he can revamp and reach, change the trajectory. It's not too late. He could turn this shit around and shock everybody. Bow. Not with no, I'm the CEO and chairman of Revolt type shit, but actually put some shit up on the board. Don't ever be too afraid to say, you know what? I was wrong about this. Let me switch it up. Let me move around. It's like you going so hard and so big on a lie. You just got to keep it going. You end up crashing out. It's like watching like Blockbuster not being able to adapt. Y'all were delusional. Y'all know y'all wasn't going to be able to compete with Netflix. I'm sure some analysts saw that. I'm sure some people said that. I'm sure a psychic saw it or somewhere. And they said, nah, but we Blockbuster. Bitch, it's a new baby in town. It's a new Blockbuster over here. You feel what I'm saying? So never, ever feel like you are bigger than the program of life, okay? As the pendulum swings to the left, it swings to the right. And you have to be able to ride that wave. Look to the left and ride that wave. Wave. Wave, okay? Put a wave in the comments if you drop that thing real quick one time. A lot of people ain't gonna get that though. A lot of people ain't gonna get that though. If it was for you, it was for you, sister. But I'm so serious when I say you have to be able to be flexible. Everything is not going to be able to change, do what you need it to do, right? You have to be able to change with the tides. You have to be able to ride things, create your own motion, know when to apply pressure, know when to stop, listen, look, readjust, reassess, reset yourself. Okay? It's never too late to change, stop, and pivot. Don't go all the way because you're afraid of how it's going to look, because you look even crazier at the end. Let me know what you think about this whole fiasco between Cam and Dame Dash, and just generally, like, how do you pivot? How do you change? When do you know, wait a minute, I'm going a little too far here. Let me stop. It's uncomfortable. I know that it's uncomfortable, but it's not impossible. Let me know what you think. Drop down in the comments. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light. I will see you in the next video. Peace.